Whether you're brand new to Altos or you've been a longtime client, this new Lunch and Learn series is an opportunity to go beyond just the simple how-to and start thinking about strategies for improving your usage, but better yet, improve your business. And so I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping that this session inspires you to think differently about how you're sharing Altos and how you're using campaigns. In this short strategy session, I'll be providing suggestions and steps. And by the end of the session, you'll be well equipped with new ideas and have a good sense of direction for moving forward. So again, please be sure to use the chat feature instead of the QA, right? For any questions that you might have. And we have our Altos Pro Jeff and we have Lael manning that chat. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So just hang tight because it's gonna be a while. All right, so what you should see now is that I am in my account. And so what we're going to be talking about today is really first lead gen. How can we use this tool, your Altos account, to help with lead gen? Now, if you participated in a previous Lunch and Learn, we talked about the 8 different ways. And now we're going to really strategize on just that lead gen and then managing leads because it's a huge component, okay? So I'm going to start simple. Those of you who are using the reports and choosing to share the reports, right? So if we go and open a report, here's our interactive report for Los Gatos. This is my local area. So Los Gatos, California, right? And so what's really great about these reports, of course, is that you can go up to share. You can share on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, right? You can share the link. And then what's really great about this is that they have the search function. Now, this search function is great. I can go in here and I can go all over. So if I want to go to San Jose, I can just click San Jose, click view report. Well, guess what? Anyone using this search function in my current state of report can do the same thing without me as the account owner knowing who they are, without getting their information. And so if your goal is to acquire new leads, great. You'll want to make sure that you do so, right, by upping your possibility of obtaining their information. So how do we take that first step? Well, the first step here is what you'll see is that my search functionality is basically giving away all of it. But what I want to do is I want to make sure if someone's using this search function that I capture their information, that I'm not just giving it away, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our account. How can we change the level of lead, that level, whether we get it on subscribe or we get it on the search and whatnot? Because as it stands, in order to get someone's information, I need to click on subscribe, fill this out, okay? Now, if I go back to my account, I can change it up. What you'll need to do is click on customize reports. Now, great, you can up your branding. This is all great and fine, but we can go beyond that. Click on advanced. By clicking on advanced, easier said than done, huh? By clicking on advanced, here we go. We can change that lead form level and change it to be on search. Okay, so when we do on search, that means I can go search. It'll say, here's the area you're interested in. And when I go to look at it, it's going to ask me for my information, right? Great. So we click save. So what I did is I created an incognito window. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and revise this. So now when I come in here and I say San Jose, and I click on this, I have to add my information. Great. Oh, sure. I want to see this. So I'm going to go ahead and give my information. Jessica at altosresearch.com and click register. I've now got that lead. Okay. And I can see San Jose. So if we go back here and we go to contacts, here I am. Okay. I'm automatically added to the default campaign. This is the area in which I subscribed and I have a self sign up and there's your lead. So that is the simplest, right? Just one little change to how you present the report makes all the difference. So again, in order to change it up and change up that lead level, click on Customize Reports, scroll down to Advanced, scroll down, and you modify that here. And for those of you asking or thinking, what is forced? Well, forced means that when you go and move around the page, it pops up. So it's a little bit more intrusive. And if you want to up it that way, you can do that as well. Okay, so you can change that lead level form. All right. So what are other ways to generate leads? Well, one of the other ways to generate those leads is via your website. So if you have a website, why not take the content that you have and integrate it into your website? Well, how? Well, I've got plenty of examples, and there's different thought processes. Whatever works best for you, what you think is going to work best for your prospects. Having an Altos account and having the locations within your Altos account allows you to get the objects to add to your website. And it's simple. So first off, let's take a look at this first example. So this one is Phoenix area, right? And what they've done is they've created an image that represents each of their areas, right? But what is this? This is the market profile for each of the areas. How did they go about getting that information? Well, in your Altos account, every location you have has an associated embed button. For example, Anaheim. If I wanted to create a presence on my website around Anaheim, I would just click on embed. With that embed button, I can go ahead and select a chart. I can do the market profile, look familiar. So here's my market profile. To do what we just saw in Phoenix, I would just scroll down and grab the HTML. Okay, so grab that HTML and you're on your way. Grab that HTML, it's also right here, and paste it where you want to live. What's really great about this is that on click of the image loads the full version of the report. Then your folks, your prospects can click subscribe and there's your lead, right? So that workflow works really nicely. And if we go back to Phoenix, you can see on click loads the latest version of their report. I love it. Great. Click subscribe and they will get that lead. Okay, so you could do that very same thing. Now, again, you can have this market profile or the market action index. This is truly what's most well received, right? Because it's easy to understand. It doesn't give you all the information. You want to obtain more, so you're more likely to click on the image, right? This answers the question, hey, how's the market today and how does it compare to last month? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market and how much so? Again, copy the image HTML, grab it here, whichever you choose, paste it where you want it to live, okay? So to see that one in action, the reason why I love it is if you click on this example, okay, and we go up to seller resources, how's the market, scroll down, look at that. I just love this because we naturally want to see, oh, wow, which one is the hottest? It's just human nature, right? And each one of these is an active image. What does that mean for you? Easy peasy. You copy, you paste, you're done. It updates every week. You don't have to copy more HTML. And it's an active image. View the full report. On click loads the latest version of their report. And again, click to subscribe. There's your new lead. Okay. So lots of different opportunities there where you can integrate it however you see fit. So again, how do you get it? You decide, okay, here's my top 10 I want to put on my website. And I'm going to grab the associated embed for each one. I'm going to go here to the first drop down. I'm going to grab that market action index. I'm going to copy that image HTML and I'm ready to rock and roll. And once you build it, it's done. It updates after every week. and they have a clear path to getting that on a regular basis. Okay. And there's lots of different opportunities. So, like we saw, this one was the market profile. This one here was the market action index. And the next one, San Diego. This one is where you scroll down and he's talking all of San Diego. And then here's your search, right? Search any zip code. So click on that and this pops up. That's a new one too. Don't forget your lead level, which will automatically grab their information. So this is another unique way to go about it. This is going to obtain their information quicker, right? Versus give all of this away. This is giving San Diego, and then they can do a search, right? So great. How do you use this? We go back here, and again, go to embed. We've talked about the images. Well, you also have the search function. This can live as a separate entity on your website. Grab the embed code. That's all you have to do. And just like they did here, they created a pretty big box, which is great. That's what this is. They can add that. Now, if you turn on that lead level where on search, you're capturing their information, that's free golden, right? That's where you're going to get a bunch more leads versus, hey, I'm going to do a search and I'm just going to give away the whole kit and caboodle, right? So this is super helpful. Okay. So this is something that you can do as well to help generate those leads. And this is taking one of each element and putting it in there. Okay. All right. So there you go. You've got your lead level and website integration. Remember, all of the areas within your account, within your platform has an associated embed button, and you can get the code for any of those things. Okay. Including that search function. All right. Now, the next thing is out of the box. So, what if every email you sent was an opportunity to get a lead who wants information about the market? Okay. That's a possibility as well. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is using the lead form, right? We're going to keep it super simple at first. And we're going to say, okay, embed. Up along the top, we've talked about the images. We've talked about the search box. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the lead form. Now, the lead form here allows you to configure. So what happens is, hey, you can create a tagline in your signature for all emails, right? We all have our nice little signature. Now you're going to add a tagline that says, never miss an important update. Get your market report today. Okay, great. So that's going to be the hyperlink. We're going to generate the URL. So you get to configure this. You get to say, okay, anybody who fills out this form, I want them to go ahead and I want them to get the new client default campaign. Great. Okay. And you know what? I want them to be able to choose from any of my reports. That is it. Okay. So now I'm going to copy the link. Well, how do I add it to my signature? Well, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go here and I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to show you. So if I go see my settings, I use Gmail. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, but it's as simple as going to my signature here and say, never miss important changes in the market. Get your free report. Boom. Okay. So whether you want to highlight all of it or just the free report, maybe I just want to do this. Everybody likes free. We're going to do that. And I'm going to create the link. That's all I have to do. Now, if I go down here and hit save, all my changes, my signature now, every email that I send, and you could check it when you email me, haha, every email I send will be an opportunity, right? What happens when they click on that? Well, we'll go here. On click, here's my form. So now I can go, oh, this is great. I'm going to fill this out. I can choose, oh, I want Santa Clara County and I want, oh, Beverly Hills sounds like a good idea. Boise, Idaho, I'm all over the place. So I can fill this out, send reports now, keep me informed. This information is then sent to my Altos account under contacts. Okay, it'll show self sign up. And there you go. There's your next. So imagine the places that you could put that though. So I say your signature line, you can put that link anywhere. Go to LinkedIn, put it in your profile, right? Get your market report. Just stick that link anywhere you want. And it's an opportunity. Facebook, great. Okay. This way, they're literally filling out the form and they are choosing what reports that you subscribe to that they want. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful there. Right. So great. Change the lead level, integrate into your website. Don't forget that lead form and integrate it into all of the great things. Okay. Now, the next thing is what about direct mail? Direct mail is super making a comeback, right? Remember years ago, we used to get all this mail. You need to get the postcards, you get all the things. And then email came around and we get a little overwhelmed with email. And so here comes direct mail again. Well, since everything's online, it's a little bit challenging, but we've got this direct mail and you can get your leads that way as well. Okay. How? This one is a little bit unique. So a direct mail would be something like, see if I can do here. Here's a flyer. Whoops. Here is a flyer example. This one's really cool, right? Get expert insights on your zip code every week. Sign up for your free report. So we talked about the URL, right? That is the lead form. This is a QR code. So you could do a QR code to a report too, right? So this is a flyer that directs them to a report request form, which is awesome. But you could do a postcard by integrating an image and a QR code for a specific report. Okay. So let's say you wanted to do, I'm going to use Anaheim, it's at the top. So Anaheim, right? We click on embed. And just like we can find the HTML, well, we can also get the image file. What if I wanted to do a postcard and I'm targeting farming a particular area and I want to go ahead and use the market action index for that area? I want to give just a little bit of information. It's a strong seller's market in Anaheim. It's hotter than it was this time last month. Okay. So I want to put this on my postcard. So I can go ahead and download the image file for print. Or I want to come here and I want to do the market profile. Great. So here's our market profile. I can integrate this into a postcard. Great. Now, if you think about your postcard, you want to make sure that you're not requiring to go sit down at a desk and type in www. something. No one's going to do it. But thank you, COVID, people are using these QR codes. And for every location you have within your account, you have an opportunity to use the QR code. So click on the QR code, click on single family homes or whichever. Here's your QR code for that specific report. So give a little, share a lot. So they get the postcard, they get the market action index, or they get the market profile. You put verbiage around it that says, hey, scan this QR code, get your report today, and don't forget to click subscribe. There's your lead. Okay. So download the QR code. It's just an image file. You integrate it into your postcard. You're good to go. Okay. So these QR codes can come in handy a lot. So if you're going to do anything via print, consider using that QR code as well. Okay. So postcards, newsletters, flyers. I thought I'd show you another example of using this information. And I've got this newsletter. So here's a newsletter goes through all of the great things, and there's a permanent spot for market reports. So this is a different image, which I can share with you. But here's a little bit of information on the general, the more broad scope. And then, of course, here's that search function. So here's the search function again, set up that lead level. So use the search, grab that lead. Easy peasy. Okay. So all the newsletters, postcards, and all of those things, those are really great opportunities for you to go ahead and get those leads. And really, it goes back to that lead form level, right? All right. So hopefully that helps. Now, we've talked about all of these possibilities, right? All of these lead generations. We can also talk about, open houses. Open houses are a great way to also look at acquiring those leads, but there's a way to go about it. And so how can you do that, right? So with our report, so if we go say, let's say I have an open house in my neighborhood. So we're going to go and it's Los Gatos. If I have an open house in Los Gatos, should I use Los Gatos citywide or should I drill down into the zip code? Probably should drill down into the zip code, because if we look at Los Gatos, right? Great, it's 50, it's neck and neck, the same as it was this time last month. Here's our median price. Okay, great, fine. Is this going to be good enough? The luxury of having an Altos account is the ability to drill in a little bit deeper. So when you do have an open house, you want to go down as far as you can. So I live in 95032. So great. Wow, there's a little bit of a difference here. Here's Los Gatos citywide, which is broad, takes into consideration all active inventory for every zip code within the city. Broad. Here's my zip code, significantly hotter. Okay. So it's important to dive in a little bit deeper. Now, with this is an online. So if you do your open houses with an iPad available and you're sharing it that way, and you want to watch and show the interactivity, because remember, you've got information that goes back 13 weeks. It's hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you've been, right? You've got all of these things. You have key leading indicators, right? Keeping an eye on these things. Here's the market at 70. Here's where it was at the beginning of the year. Woo, okay, great. Scroll down. Not only do you have this chart that really steady, but you can change it up. Why not focus on inventory? Because look, we need to focus on the fact that inventory is still at an all-time low. Okay. And then you want to dive in even a little bit deeper, right? Now, let's say my house was on the market. Do I want to just focus here? Because my house is not 3.1. Okay. So do we want to focus here or do we want to dive in even deeper? So using this, you can dive in even deeper. Okay. In fact, you don't have to be online when you're at your open house. You might want to create some printouts, okay, or even just one. But how do you do that? You go up to share, convert it to a single page PDF. You decide on the story that you want to tell in the center. I like the inventory. So here's my PDF. Here's something I can go ahead and print. Now, if you are a little advanced and you've got Canva, you might be able to even up your game and add the QR code to this, okay? But you've got this report. This is such a great conversation starter. And so when you're doing an open house and you've got people coming through that open house, wouldn't it be great to have a good conversation starter? Anytime I go anywhere and people ask me, hey, what do you do? And I say real estate, they say, oh, how's the market in California? It is just the way it works. Now you've got to answer to the question, but better yet, not just how's the market at 95032, scroll down. If I'm having an open house for a home that's 15, about 1,500 square feet, 1,600, which is mine, then I'm going to focus on the segment and the nature of the market for the segment. So for those of you who aren't aware, these segments are segments of the actual available inventory. where we take the available inventory, list it from most expensive to least expensive, and divide it by 4. Okay, top segment, most expensive 25% of properties. The bottom segment, the least expensive. Here's the key. Print this, take a highlighter, highlight this segment. Because why? Notice, from list to pending, 14 days. The house that I'm showing is due to sell within 14 days. Overall, 28. As a buyer, would I want to know the 28 or 14? Guess what? I'm going to put my best foot forward if I know 14. Okay, so it's super important. This way, you're not talking about the nature of the market for that zip code. You're talking about the nature of the market for that home. So I encourage you to highlight that. Again, use it as a conversation starter. And if you're using a company account and it is company specifically branded, take your business card, attach your business card. Do the same thing. Now, you can go ahead and start handing out, copy after copy, but are you getting anything back? So, how do you overcome that? Don't have all those copies. Display it, right? And then display the QR code. And I'm going to share with you in a couple of minutes just what that means as far as, do you share the QR code for the report, or do you share the QR code for the report request form? Okay. All right. So in any case, print this out, use at all of your open houses. You may not find your next buyer, but you could very well find your seller lead. Because if you told me, hey, I expect this home to sell in 14 days, and I suspect this is going down, okay, great. All right. All right. So now that we have a pretty good idea about the ways that we can use Altos to generate leads, how do you go about managing those leads? That's a whole different story, right? So how do you manage the leads? How can you tell where your leads are coming from? And if you're putting forth all the effort to try new ideas, wouldn't it be nice to know which of the efforts are paying off? So if you're using that signature, right, you're putting it in your signature and leads are coming in, wouldn't it be nice to know that they're coming from that signature link? Or if you've got leads coming in, both using a signature and you have stuff on your website, wouldn't you like to know where those leads are coming from, right? What about leads you've purchased? Is there a way to use Altos to gauge whether or not they are warm, hot versus cold as ice? So yes to all. Okay, so the next thing we need to talk about is managing these leads and ideas around that, okay? And so when we go back to our account, we have these things called campaigns, okay? So when we click on campaigns, now I've got a gazillion. Why? Because you can create as many campaigns as you'd like. And why not? You can differentiate your clients, your prospects, by what campaign that they are in, okay? So one of the things you'll notice here is I've created a few. So signature campaign. So how does this work? So I can configure my report request form so that everybody who fills out my form gets put into the signature campaign. That way, when I fill it out or when I go into my contacts, I can sort by campaign and I can find out who has requested a report via my signature. How do we do that? So we'll go back from the beginning, our landing page. You click on embed, and we talked about going to the lead form. This time, we're going to be taking extra care into what campaign. So we want a link for our signature in a way that when they fill out the form, they're automatically added to the signature campaign. And I want them to choose from any of my reports. Okay, copy that link. That is the link that we're going to add to the signature instead. So that when we fill out that link, so copy that link here, we go and say, okay, this is a great thing to do. We're going to fill this out and I'm going to say Santa Clara County is the way to go. That's all I really need right now. Send reports now. Keep me informed. Okay. Go back, contacts, signature campaign. So as I build out my contacts, I can click on contacts, go to campaign, and sort by signature campaign. Up, there's my lead that I got from my signature. Okay. You can have as many links as you want. It's up to you, though, to manage those links because they all have a unique URL, but there's no way for you to truly identify. There's nothing in the URL that specifies which one it is. So you got to manage that a bit. But that is just one. Go back to campaign. That open house, wouldn't it be great to know what leads came from that open house? Same idea. So whether or not you use the lead form, which we'll talk about, but you can always gather the leads that you get, whether you do a sign in or you do a form, you then manually add those contacts, but you're going to add them to the open house that you had so that you can differentiate those contacts, those leads from everyone else and manage them accordingly. But let's say instead of a QR code that goes to the report, maybe you have a QR code that goes to the form, right? You can do that. And where do you put it? You just stick the QR code, if you have a table with brochures, you have a thing that you create, say, hey, never miss important changes in the market. Get your report today, right? Great. So you go back. Again, we're going to click on embed. This time we're going to be a little bit different. Click the lead form. Okay. Oh, that's how it works. So this way we have to go to the location. So remember 95032. This is the open house we had. Now we're going to go click on embed. Then we're going to click on lead form. And this time we're going to select the open house. Now, the difference is that we want this form to only have Los Gatos 95032. So we are not going to select all reports. And we're going to copy the link and we'll see how it looks different. See? You're automatically signing up for that particular report. And they're going to automatically get this campaign. Okay? Where it says, thanks so much for visiting our open house on May 4th in Los Gatos, California. Keeping my clients up to date with what's happening in the market and how things are shifting from week to week is really important to me. You'll find access to the report for, this is just a place setter, but it would be Los Gatos. If you're curious about the market for any other locations, be sure to utilize the search function at the top of the report to access any city and or zip of interest. Ta-da! I'd love to be your real estate expert. But now your leads for that open house will get that. Okay? So that is something to consider. On your website, do you want to have people do a report request form so that you can capture where they're coming from? So definitely start thinking about leveraging that by using the lead form in various areas, whether it be signature, website, okay? Direct mail, QR code. Okay, so that's another one. We have this image here. This is a QR code to the form. How do you do that? We want to make sure that you understand that this is the QR code for all of the reports, right? The QR code for the form is going to be different. You're going to generate that on your own. And you can, especially if you use Chrome as your browser type. So we're going to click on embed. This is a fun thing that I learned. You go to lead form and you say, okay, I'm going to do a lead form for this, any of them actually, right? So let's do a lead form for the open house, okay? And I'm going to leave this free like we did. And then you copy the link and remember we have it here, okay? So once you have this loaded, click on the white space of the browser window, create QR code. Now, I don't know if Chrome just really wants to give me a smile all the time because mine has a dinosaur. But regardless, this is a QR code. You can download the image, and anytime somebody scans this QR code, this is what's going to pop up, in which case now they're going to be added to the campaign that I feel is important. Okay, so QR code for a report is different than a QR code for the form. Both are valuable. One requires them to click subscribe. This one requires them to not see the report. This doesn't allow them to see the report. They just have the form to fill out. So it's totally up to you, but that's how you can manage where these leads are coming from. Now, another tip that I have that I actually really think is great is managing leads that you've acquired elsewhere. If you've purchased leads on Zillow.com, if you've purchased leads on Realtor, whatever the case might be. One use case is, hey, let's create a campaign for those folks. We'll add all of those leads to this campaign. Then I can manage who's opening it, and that's going to be my new call list. Because let's say you get 150 leads and you want to start from the top and work your way down, and you don't know if they're dead or alive. Sounds rude, but it is what it is. You really don't know the quality quite yet. You don't know if it's valid. You don't know if they're really looking, whatever the case. But if you get that they've opened it, that's now your new call list. So I created a campaign that says, I hope this email finds you well. My name is Jessica Lucke, a local realtor. Although we haven't had an opportunity to connect quite yet, I like to keep my clients updated on the market happenings within my localized market reports. My reports are updated weekly, yada, yada. Okay. So if you're interested in other locations, etc. Now I'm going to add everybody to this, and then I'm going to just watch. And if they open it like this, okay, great. I'm going to go and I'm going to send them a message. Okay. Or I'm going to reach out to them because that's a warm lead. Okay. So that one's really great too. So consider doing that. Use the campaigns to leverage and manage leads. Okay. Now, just yesterday, I was talking to a client and she had a really great idea. And she wanted to target a condo complex where people were renting but could own. And so she wanted to send some data that basically suggests that you're better off purchasing, right? And it's very localized. It's a zip code and it's the condo report, right? So she wants to send a postcard. And then that postcard, same idea. Choose the image that you want to integrate, okay? Then decide, do you want to have them go straight to the report, or do you want them to request the report? And it's totally up to you. Either way, it's a postcard with a QR code. So just remember that when you go here, that every report you have in your account has an associated QR code. And create your own QR code. If you're using Chrome, click on the white space, create QR code. Okay? Use that. Don't give away the farm. Say, hey, I've got great content. Let me know who you are first, right? So hopefully that makes sense there. So hopefully that is exciting. Hopefully this is new information, right? Whether it be new information about various ways to obtain leads, but I'm hoping that it really inspires you to really master those campaigns and really take those, and then the lead forms to really kind of pay attention to where people are coming from, okay? So as you can see, with just some thought and brainstorming, you can really leverage your Altos research account. Thank you again for setting aside the time to learn more about what's possible with Altos. I hope you feel like it was time well spent. And again, if you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the chat so Jeff can assist. And before we close out, I always like to make mention of where you can go for extra resources. So if you'd like to listen to this again, if you missed the previous Lunch and Learns, well, they're always recorded and found on our YouTube channel. Just search Altos Research. Okay, we've got so much content. You've got the market updates, top of mind podcasts, monthly market update webinars. One's coming up the 16th, I think, of May. We've got the realtor tips. We've got tutorials, the getting started, interviews, and here they are at the bottom, our customer Altos webinars. So we've got this. This one will be added. So be sure to check that out. So that's one. But you've got a lot of resources that you may not be aware of that are in your account. Click on help. Okay. These two are like getting started, right? So we've talked a lot about more advanced type stuff today. But if you just want to know how to add a contact, how to build a campaign, all of those things, Quick Start Guide is the way to go. I honestly feel the best thing that you can do to be the most effective and to really incorporate Altos into your business is to really gain confidence in what you're sharing. So look at the report overview, see what's possible with the report, master the report, okay? There's other video tutorials you'll see here. The report explainer is awesome, not just for you, but it's a great follow-up to those leads who open your email. Send them what I call the cheat sheet. It's a PDF. Send it via your own email client as an attachment. Now, this is me, whether you like it or not, okay? So if you're interested, if you've signed up for Altos and you're trying to learn on your own, hey, schedule a one-on-one. Let's talk about your business and how this will fit into your business. Don't try to master it all on your own. I'm happy to set aside the time. This is my calendar. Find a time that works, and I'm happy to meet with you. Whether it's strategy session, how-to session, choose 30 minutes, choose an hour, totally up to you. But that's how you can reach me. If you have any issues, please contact support. Pretty easy, and we assist as quick as we can. All right. But to close it up, I really appreciate you guys setting aside the time today. I hope you found it was valuable. And if you have any questions that come up after, because that's when they actually come up, please don't hesitate and reach out. Okay. We're here to help, and we're excited to see what you do. You all take care. I'll stay on the line a bit. If you have any other questions, I'm going to take a look and see what might be in there. But again, I appreciate your time today.